it up, fill up our oil cups here for a table. This is what we've got. Now, I do realize that on cast iron, when you're planing it like this or running it across a shaper, it will tear out the back edge and it kind of jumps on the front edge. Normally you grind those down. In these I didn't worry about it because this end's going to get cut off anyway, which I'm going to do next, and the top's going to get shaved. This end I wasn't really worried because it's what it is what it is. I just didn't bother to do it if I wasn't going to do it on this end. But you can see the tear out on this end down here, and that's from not beveling that edge. So there's the one side. We'll flip it over once we get it. I'm going to go ahead and shorten it up to the size I want it and everything and start dimensioning it down a little bit. And then we're going to do the same thing to the other side, except we'll just shave off this top edge, or shave off the scale on top and form us a radius down in here. One of these edges will get a 45-degree bevel. There's our profile from the end. So anyway, I'm going to take her over. I'm just going to lay it out. We're going to whack it off in the hacksaw, and then we'll start setting it up on here again after we get everything cleaned up. had some discussion about the clapper not jumping up until it was clear at the back of the stroke. And I kind of tried to explain that, but I don't know if I've really done a good job of that. And this, I kind of had an epiphany of exactly what was happening here with this setup. So I'm going to run it and I'll show you. But the gist of it is the clapper doesn't start to jump up or get out of the way like a clapper box normally would when we're running the advanced speed until it gets back to about this point right here on the workpiece. And the reason is we're advancing it over. So I'm going to try and get a wide enough view so we can see both areas that are affected. But what's happening is when it's coming back, it doesn't start, the gearing on this doesn't start the auto advance until it gets to about this point on this workpiece. So what we want to watch is where it starts to retract up here. We'll see if I can get wide enough, and then I'll get out of the way. And we want to watch where the lead screw advances, or where if we can see the handle. I don't know, that's getting to be an awful wide view. Let me change the angle just a little bit. Okay, maybe I've gotten where we can get multiple views. I think in edit I'll try and probably slow this down, and then we'll also zoom in on the two pieces. Now, we can watch the lead screw advance, but I've also got the handle on the lead screw itself. So we can watch the handle go around, even though we don't have a very good view of it right there. But if we watch right there and right there, why as soon as I start it, we'll run the auto advance. Once it starts a cut, like then you'll see where that's happening at. And it's the way it's designed. A lot of times you'll see these in a hydraulic conversion is mostly what we're seeing online when we go and watch these other planer videos. Whereas this one's mechanical with the hydraulic wide, so the valving on it automatically kicks the clapper box out of the way, which completely clears your tool head from the workpiece. Whereas this one being mechanical, the advance is mechanical, and that's what's happening is it's on the gearing. You'll watch the shaft rotate on the backstroke, but it doesn't happen until probably the last quarter of the stroke. So let me just run it for you, and you can see. We'll see if I can give you a good view of editing. But that's why it's doing it. So it's just basically dragging at that level when it starts back, when it starts to retract. But when it gets to that last quarter or third, why that's when the mechanics kick in and it's advancing over. So the back of the tool is actually dragging on the workpiece as it traverses over. So that's what's causing it to kick out. So if we start it here, and we engage our advance, automatic feed. Well, as soon as it gets into the cut, why then we'll be able to see it start to kick out. Yeah, we're still a ways away here. But you want to pay attention to the timing on the advance, on the auto advance. And when it starts to advance, that's when it's kicking up on the workpiece because that's when it's starting to drag it across. Okay, there we're just starting our cut, right? Once it engages, then we'll start seeing it go. There, it's starting to get cut down. Now the cut, retract, advance. And there's the advance point. Now starting to come. Now we're getting deep enough into the cut that we'll start to pick up. You don't see a whole lot out here on the hand, but you can see it start to move. It's right about there. It's just about the last quarter that's engaged. End of the handle just rise a little bit as it starts to traverse up and over. So it's actually kind of gradual. It gets deeper into the cut, so we see it drop back into position. So that's the reason it's cutting that way. I'll just let it finish the cut, and then we're going to break this down and lay out for our lightning bolts and cut our angles on the end. I'll do that off camera. We'll get that one. Result, and that's what we're going to cook them with. Disengage our on the feed. I'm about done playing for the day. Here's our profile so far. Now I have, we planed off this surface, we planed off this surface, and this one and this one. So I still have to go back and do this edge, and then this side and this edge. We'll contour down the edges, radius them when we're done. We'll leave us a little step. On one end we'll put a 45, and on one side or the other of this we're going to add a 45. I'm not sure if it's going to be on this side or on this side. We got a little bit of a divot here that didn't all clean up. That was part of the original casting, but we'll leave that. And this gives us about a little, right now it's a little more than a 12-inch straight edge, so we'll do that. We'll add some lightning holes, I'm sure, either that or maybe a couple finger grooves. I don't know what we're going to do, but we're playing. So I have ran a mic across it, and I'm not going to try and fumble with everything going, but dimensions on it as it came off the planer, 351 is 2 inches and 0.351. In the middle is 353, and on the end is 356. So we're out that much over, well, 9 inches is what we are about between here. So, off of a planer that we're still adjusting and getting gibs set up and things like that, I'm not unhappy. So, anyway, progress forward, fun play day on a Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning still. We're still playing Sunday morning. Fun play day there. So, comments or suggestions, leave them for me in the comments section below. And as always, guys, thanks for taking the time to watch.